Hey, evening everyone. My name is John. I'm the founder of whatifi. It's late on a Wednesday night. I'm just going to take a few minutes to show you how easy it is to build mortgage new home scenarios in whatifi. So here's what we got. Here's me. Here's my bank account. Let's say I've saved up $100,000 and I want to buy a house. So really clearly here, I've got $100,000 of net worth and my cumulative cash flow is just $100,000. That's what's sitting in my bank right now. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add a house here. So I'm going to go to list residential real estate. I'm going to add in a house. And this can be any type of house here. We're going to call it house 1. It's a primary residence. It is not newly built. Let's just say this house is in Vancouver. That's where I live. We're going to put a purchase price here, and things are pretty expensive, $1.2 million. We're going to assume it's appreciate over time, maybe say 8%. And I'm going to buy this this summer, so maybe July 1st, right? And that's all I need to do to add a house in. And now I have a house. Other thing I can do really quickly is I could take this house and let's make a copy. And I'm going to click back on this event here and I'm going to paste it. And now I have a second house. All right, and I'm going to go in, I'm going to edit this one very quickly. And maybe this one's even more expensive. So this is $1.5 million. And I'm also going to buy that on July 1st. And I'm going to update that. And now I have two houses here. Those are my two branches. Okay. Next thing I need to do, I need to actually make a down payment on this. So I'm going to add in a mortgage event. I'll go back to my real estate here, find my mortgage event. See, that usually follows after a house event, and I'm going to drop that in. So this is a new mortgage. Down payment rate, I have my $100,000. So I'm going to put $100,000 in here. There's something really important about what happens there, which I'll get to in a second. 5 years, maybe things are about 2.35 right now. I'm going to make these monthly payments over 25 years. Boom, 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 boom. There's my mortgage calculation. Let's drop that in. Okay. But I also want to be able to connect this back to that other event. I'm going to use my connect function. I'm going to connect this event to this and close that off. So what have I done? Now I created two scenarios here, which you'll sort of see in a second. I've got one scenario, which is where I'm taking my $100,000 and I'm buying a $1.2 million house. And another scenario where I'm buying a $1.5 million house and I'm running that through a mortgage calculation. And what you'll notice is that calculation changes based on which thread is active. $6,000, $4,000. I can see all my calculations that go along with that. I can see whether I'm going to be in trouble or not and how my math is going to pay out over time. And certainly I've got some pretty big payments here in my monthly cash flow. So I better have a good paying job to support that. Now, maybe if I bought this $1.5 million house, it's got a basement suite in it. So let's add some rental income in here to try and offset some of my costs. I use a basic income. I'm going to add an income here. Let's call this rental income. This is monthly. I'm able to charge somebody $2,200 a month for that. It's going to be rental income. It's going to be associated with me. And the start date for that is, let's say we bought it in July, maybe September 1st. I can start to rent that out, and it is going to go up over time, so I'm going to account for that. And I'm going to fill an ad. And now what I have, things are recalculating. I now also have some rental income that goes along for the ride in that particular piece. So now you can see the differences between those two, what my monthly cash flow is going to be, or what my net worth on average is going to be over time. Let's also take a look at a net worth over time, and I can see how things look, property value over time there. This is a very, very, very basic example, but I just want to show you how easy it is and how quickly we can model out a couple of scenarios at the same time. Really quickly, if I wanted to, I could copy and paste a house and add another one in. We could also do something where we create more than one mortgage scenario, where we try different rates at the same time too. So in that case, a little bit funky, but maybe I go and add in a utility event here, which is a decision, and we'll call these mortgages. I'm going to drop this in. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break this connection for a second. I'm going to reconnect this into this. So now I have that. I have my singular mortgage. But what I can also do now is I can copy this mortgage. I can paste this mortgage. And now I have a second mortgage. And say for some particular reason here, I want to pick a different amount. Maybe in this one I'm going to put $80,000 down, maybe this is 2.5%, different sort of terms, maybe amortizing over 20 years instead. Let's drop that in, and I now have that given scenario. And maybe lastly, what I'm going to show you is the other things that I can add downstream of this. So because we're not putting 20% down, I'm going to run into a scenario where I'll have other expenses as well. So my mortgage insurance is going to be a factor here. So let's add some mortgage insurance in. We're going to calculate that premium. We'll add it to the mortgage, and I have that event. And just to tighten all this up, I'm going to connect these together, and boom, now I have that scenario as well. So in a moment, this will recalculate, and you'll see I now have 4 different scenarios with 4 very different paths, right? And each of those represent one of those unique options that I'm taking, all the math that goes along with it, and hopefully a very easy way to share and present this with other people so they can see how these scenarios play over time. Anyway, that's it. That's my late night show. Enjoy.